What's up guys, welcome back to another GAR poker video, and today I'm just going to go through some more hands that I've recorded over the last week. Tried to balance them out, so I hope you guys enjoy. Pocket tens here in the big blind, see an open from under the gun +1. Button also calls, going to be 3-betting this. I think it's a lot of dead money with the button's flat call. And being out of position could go something like 8, but with that call behind, I think 10's fine. Go a little bit more with that player behind. Am a little bit surprised to see him call there. I guess he's getting a good price. Out of position, we're the 3-better pre-flop, squeezed, not going to be connecting with this board super often. Okay, playing this passively, obviously not planning on going anywhere, and it checks around. Same thing here, just out of position. Now we have a card over our pocket tens. Check it over, play it defensively. Also still, wow, see a pot size bet. That is strange. Yeah, I'm not sure what he's really trying to mean here. It almost feels like he's trying to buy the pot away. And if he's doing this with a strong hand, props to him, because I don't believe it just yet. Could actually see him doing that with a picked up flush draw on the turn, which obviously gets there. Don't have any hearts, so very interesting to see what he'll do there. But it looks like he was bluffing with air on the turn, so very interesting hand. Pocket twos here in the big blind, facing a button open. Could call, could 3-bet, going to just call this time. No need to bloat the pot. Out of position with a hand that likely won't hit, as we see here, although I'm not sure how often this will be connecting with his range. Pick up a gut shot on a spade, going to lead this card. I think he could be opening the button quite wide, but a lot of times I expect him to have overcards here. Maybe a hand like king queen off with a single spade. And I think he floats a lot of his single spade holdings, and then we take it down. Pocket queens here in the cutoff, looking to get some action here. See a limp from under the gun. Usually I actually think that these under the gun limps are a lot stronger than, let's say, a button or a small blind limp, so very interesting, but always going to open a bit larger when facing with limpers, hence why I opened to 4 here. And we see a call from the small blind, and okay, I was wrong about the under the gun player. Ace high board, could bet, could check back. Gonna be betting this board pretty often. Not gonna change anything here. Take it down with a c-bet. Pocket tens here, going to be opening this up. Got 2 super deep opponents here. 1 folds. Button has position on us. Got a call from the small blind and flop an overpair. This is a board that we are not always going to connect with and not going to bet super often, but when we do, I like choosing a large size, and I think you can even go almost full pot here, although I will choose a 3/4 sizing. Do have backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw, get raised. That is very interesting, but like I said, this is a board that we're not always going to connect with super often, and I think this opponent is probably aware of that and is check raising for that reason. Could be doing this with a hand like 4-5, 8-9 are the bluffs, also flush draws, although we do block that. And then, could totally have sets here, pocket twos, pocket sixes, pocket sevens. Would probably play as so, but nothing we can do here except just call. See a turn. So that does bring in the 4-5 draw, but still have an overpair here. Sizes up, obviously looking to get the money in. And now, when he continues betting, I really could go either way here. Could jam, could call, could even think about folding. And I just don't think with this sizing he is going to fold to a jam, but I don't want it to be an awkward amount left on the river in case it's a bad river card, so I'd rather just get the money in now. Tanking and get the fold. That was very unexpected, but no complaints. Ace-3 offsuit here. Gonna open over the limp. Not really sure what to make of the under the gun limp, although I do consider those to be a little bit, I don't want to say stronger, but I expect them to call more often than a button limp or a small blind limp. Goes ahead and donks out here. Kind of makes sense. Not going to be a board that we're connecting with super often. I'm going to put him to the test here with a raise. I think he might be overstabbing this board. And definitely not always expecting a fold here. I mean, could have something like an 8x, 9x, jack 10, but we do take it down. Alright, so we got king queen offsuit here in the small blind with a limp from the cutoff and a button open. I do think that the button is going to be opening generally a little bit larger here with this limp, and I am going to come in for the 3-bet. Out of position, we can go a bit larger. I think 14.5 is fine. See what happens. Take it down. Pocket 7s here on the button. Getting a raise from hijack. Going to be 3-betting this one up. In position, pocket 7s to 7 big blinds. It all adds up. Calls, see king 8-5. Going to be connecting on this board quite often as the 3-better, and going to be putting in a small bet, about 1/3. Obviously with our hand, it's only 3rd pair. And after getting a call, 5 is actually a pretty good turn card. Still a lot of draws out there. And for that reason, I'm going to continue betting. If I had a king, I would probably want to size up to get all the money in on the river. Also deny some equity with the double flush draw out there. So going to put in another bet. A lot of hands that he can call the flop with now and fold the turn. But he calls again. Checks it over. So I think if he were to have a hand like 5x, he might think about raising the turn or leading out on the river. 7-9 gets there, although that's pretty irrelevant and we do block it. I think the appropriate play is to go for another bet here. I think this sizing is okay. Trying to get any pair below the king to fold. Any 8x that's getting sticky. Miss clubs. Don't have to bet too much to get them to fold. And he has king 9, so unfortunate. Alright, king queen offsuit facing small blind limp. Going to be opening it up. Villain is very short stacked, so important to know. This is a spot where don't think we'll be betting super often, but when we do, probably choose a larger sizing. Although I'm not a fan of betting big here when this guy's so short behind, so I'm going to choose to check it back with our 2 overs and backdoor diamond draw. Turn top pair. Obviously great card for us, does bring in a second flush draw, and for that reason going to choose a 3/4 sizing here. Think our hand is the best almost always and take it down. Alright, a6 offsuit here, going to be opening this one up. I think six-handed, you can open up a lot of these ace-x, you know, definitely folding to a 3-bet here, and that's exactly what happens, and that's totally fine. Just wanted to include this hand just to kind of show that that does happen. Alright, ace-10 suited here on the button, facing a cutoff open, going to be 3-betting this in position. Can call sometimes, but I think that allows the blinds to get a good price. Wow, we actually get 4-bet, pretty large, super interesting. Think he's almost never bluffing, and I think that folding is probably the preferred way to go about this, but we have position, he's super deep with us. We could hit some clubs or something, so I'm gonna go ahead and put in the call and completely brick, expecting a small bet here. That's exactly what happens. With our back doors, I think calling once is fine. Unfortunate there's not a single club out there, but I think his turn action will dictate the strength of his hand. So we pick up a pair. King Jack gets there, but don't think he's ever really 4-betting that hand. Definitely has, you know, pocket queens, pocket kings, and even aces, but he also has ace king. With our pair here, going to call one more street. There will be some rivers I do give up on, but let's see what happens. 4 of hearts does not feel like one of them. We have less than pot behind, and he jams. Yeah, you know, he 4-bet us pre-flop, and he's going for 3 streets. It would be, you know, his bluffs are ace-king, but he also has ace-queen, pocket kings. I just think the price that we're getting here is too good. And we take it down, ace-king. Alright, so we got ace-5 offsuit here, open from under the gun. We got a call from the button, who's pretty short stacked. And we also get a call from the big blind. For our hand itself, not horrible. Do have a gut shot, but not going to be a board that we're connecting on super often, so not going to bet it this time. Checks around, very interesting. I do think player 6 is going to be betting any of those super strong hands on the flop, hand like 6-7, 4-5, flush draws, so don't think he really has anything going on. And I think player 2 recognizes that and chooses to come out and lead for that reason. Gonna call this time, expecting the button to fold at a very high frequency, and he does. Very interesting river. 8-9 does complete, as do clubs, so changes the board quite drastically, and we do get a check. And I think I'm going to bet this time, just because I read his sizing on the turn. I think he was just trying to buy the pot. And if I had a flush or if I had a straight, how much would I bet? Probably somewhere around near pot, just trying to get max value from anything like a 3. But obviously that's not the case here, and I have ace high and was just looking to get folds, which we did, so nice hand. Ace-8 offsuit here, going to be opening this one up. Like I was saying before, I'm a big fan, especially 6-handed, just opening up pretty much all of your ace-x. Totally fine to fold to a 3-bet, but you can take advantage of a lot of free blinds just by opening up these hands, especially later positions and stuff like that. Monotone board, ace, king, jack. Obviously do not have a club in our hand, but we do flop top pair. I think this is a hand that I'd rather play as a check call. And let's see what our opponent does here. Once again, pretty short stacked. If I call, it'll be 12. He's got 21 behind, a little bit under 2 SPR. Definitely can't go anywhere. Top pair is top pair. Let's hope for a clean. It's about as clean of a turn as you can get. Once again, really don't plan on going anywhere. And he checks. Great turn, or great river rather. Don't think he has Jack X too often. I think I'm going to go for a polarizing play and jam. We chop with any ace, playing aces and jacks with the king kicker. Fold out any of his garbage. He'll have a lot of single club holding hands. Yeah, and he folds king queen. Nice hand. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to continue to keep putting content out there. Make sure to check out my Instagram and TikTok as well, Gar Poker, and make sure to subscribe.